Carnival is coming up, and as a young man, you were very much involved in Carnival,
Yes.
and we're quite interested to find out what you did as a young person with your cousins. And could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we grew up with this, how we call this culture. That sense, there are guys before us, and then we adopted the same thing. But at the latter end, we decided that I told you from St. Thomas, while we were up there, we came down with a different costume, which they didn't have around. It was named Social Sui. And
What's the
then,
English meaning of that?
well, well, the English meaning supposed to be small bag.
Small bat. So
Yeah.
basically, the costume was based on a
Based
bat.
on a bag. So,
How many people were in your group
we
at
had
that time?
about 25 guys.
Just guys, no girls.
Yeah. No, good. Yeah.
Back in the day, what was the involvement of women in carnival and in that type of carnival?
Well, this type of carnival, women wasn't much involved. You would find one or two grown-ups would run sensei, and this kind of thing. But very few, about 3 or 4. Yeah. Sometimes we meet them in the band, you don't know because they're well masked up. And then they come, they push you around and things, say, hey guy, we're going, and then they say, I'm such and such a person, then you know it's a woman. Yeah.
What was the origination of the Black Devils?
The Black Devils, well, I can't say much.
But it was played in Granby.
Yeah, we met it,
you
we're
met
just involved in it.
Okay, you
And
continued the
sense-
tradition.
Yeah, the tradition.
Mrs. Del Sol. She
Yeah,
was a
she
costume
was
builder
still- yeah,
and
she-
seamstress.
Yeah, professional seamstress. I don't know if you knew Starlet, well,
Yes.
well, the sister, his sister.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. And how would you compare carnival back in the day to carnival today?
Oh, it was much better. Very nice. But the only thing, I don't know, from 6 in the morning, 5:30 guys out on the street. From the thing, man with costume. Some guys put on the sensei 6 in the morning. And the only way you could see up on them is 6, 7 at night. All day.
All day they reveled.
Yeah.
Do you think that a revival of some of the old traditions would bring carnival
Of
back in the
course,
village?
Of course, of course.
And that's something you would like to see?
Yeah, of course. That was nice. And not only me, lots of us. There's a guy before me. He's at the back. And he's not well known. Yesterday I was by him. He was one of the first Black Devil guys. Then bad boy. You know?
A part of carnival in the old times was what they used to call band clashes or gang clashes.
Yeah.
Was that something that
Those-
happened in Granby?
All the time. All the time. We used to have Font Saint Jean. We used to have Ubique. We used to have Mountain and Tetmont. And when I bought you, and when this band comes together, that band beating up the other drum down there, when they meet together, it's problem. Classes all over the place. People running here, bottle and stone flying, But to us, it was fun. But now, it's a one business and things, all this kind of shit.
I think back in the day, although there were clashes, it wasn't seriously wanting to hurt each other.
No. It's just I have to say,
Like a rivalry.
yeah. All these things. And the heat of the moment, like this band is better than that one, this one, you fight now, a cough, a hit with a stick. Next morning, everybody must get one together, no problem.
Well, I've dropped in on one of Dominica's finest, Mr. Earl Etienne, to have a glass of juice in my quest to learn more about Ole Mass in Dominica. Good morning, Mr. Etienne.
Morning.
And how are you?
I'm fine.
You look great.
After a hard night, mass camp, Thunderbirds.
Well, it's the season for us to have late nights and stressed out days, thanks to Mass Camp and being a carnival lover. So I'm trying to find out more and more about Ole Mass and Ole Mass in Dominica. And I just thought that you might be one of the right people to help me get some more information. When you think Ole Mass, what do you think?
I think of the terrifying sensei from my boyhood days at Massac.
That's where you grew up.
Yeah, I'm from the parish of St. Paul.
Okay. And why terrified?
Because taking a carnival Monday walk with my father going up to the village, it was scary looking at the senses, so I used to hide behind my father's companies. It would instill fear in the kids. We would hide or we would actually be afraid. And I think for punishment, they would say, it can be sensitive for you, so you have to behave yourself. And I saw red hookers, darkies. Those were terrifying as well. But the sensei was the real thing. And being fearful of sensei, in growing up, I myself became a sensei lover. I play carnival with sensei, I love that. And when I have the sensei on, I'm transformed spiritually and physically as well. Because when you have that mask, something enters your soul.
You're now hidden, so to speak.
Yes.
So I guess it probably instills in people a sense of I can do anything and get away
Voila.
with it. Would you say that?
Yes, and you would not be recognizable. As a matter of fact, when I have sensei, it's only after I've spoken to the person they would know really that mask.
Yes. Do you think sensei has evolved, or is it the same as it was years ago?
Well, sensei is an African retention that has been manifested during carnival time. And because I also paint senseis, because it's part of our culture, and I did a little bit of research. And it's really from West Africa, and it is based on, I think, a meeting ritual, and it is fashion of a fall. We call it fall in Dominica, poul fuise. I do not know the English word, but if you look at the sensei costume, it really looks like the fall.
But having said that, we use several different types of material to create the sensei.
Yes,
Does each one depict something different?
Well, some people use bush, like in Africa they use a lot of bush, they use a lot of organic matter, or the earliest method I know in Dominica was something they call a langbef. It's either sisal or sisal plant, where we used to beat that by the river and it would dry, so we would dye it. I think that was the earliest form of senses I knew, langbef. It is, and then when the rope came into being, it lost because it was so labor intensive, and the rope is easy. You could buy the rope in a hardware store and just frill it off. But the sensei, the langbef, you had to go to the bush on the west coast and all of that and beat it up, dry it, and so on.
I've seen the fig leaf, I've seen fabric also used to make
and
sensei.
Plastic as well. Now
Plastic.
with modern materials, people take bottle stoppers, people take plastic, people take paper, and every area in Dominica you would find a different style of sensei. Like if you go to Grande, it's different than Colio, it's different from Maho. And although the sensei costume was banned because of the unfortunate fire of the 60s, and certain communities kept it alive. It was banned in Roseau, but Grande, Senjo, Maho, Portsmouth, Colio, they kept the tradition alive. And there's distinctive styles all over the island.
Would you say that having stopped the sensei for what you said almost 30 years, that it sort of killed the tradition, or do you think the tradition would have been bigger had that not happened?
It was kept alive by these communities, but it would have been bigger. And we have lost some of the traits of the real sensei, where you had this special dance and that would instill fear in people. Right now, sensei, even the little child would come and play for sensei now. But in my days as a young boy, that couldn't be done because their movement, the way of dance, the way of, and the mask, because right now we have Halloween mask that people are very familiar with on TV. But before you had the specific mask, the specific shoes, the specific hand gear, like they had the handle of pickaxes and shovels, which you don't find anymore in mass.
Also, women are playing Sensei today, and as you just mentioned, children. Was that something that was done in the past? Women and children playing Sensei?
Well, you could not tell because you couldn't tell if it was a male or female playing Sensei. Even today, if the person will not talk to you and you know their characteristics, their movement, you know, but a Sensei is really like, as I said, it is, you're hidden in the costume.
How do you think that, from our cultural point of view, we can ensure that Sensei stays part of our culture and grows to something that we can use more as a marketing tool and a market dominator?
Oh, well, it's keep on doing what we're doing. Keep building the costume, keep passing on to the young ones. Because that is, although you have other countries with similar things, but it is not called Sensei. You have in Jamaica, you have Bahamas. This tradition are being kept alive because of the constant use at carnival times. And sometimes we use it to promote Dominica. Like I've been to France, I've been to the States, I've been to Europe, promoting Dominica as a tourism product, and the Senseis always play a big role in that. People are amazed. It's just like our national dress. It is similar, it has the same status. When you see it, you know this is from Dominica.
You know, what surprised me being in Dominica is that I grew up in Trinidad and we didn't have Sensei there. You know, knowing Trinidad is so much a big thing, Carnival is such a big thing there.
But they had other.
They had other things.
Other things.
Yeah.
Like
they had the devils.
They had the woman big.
Yes.
Behind
and they did
so
the
on.
bats. People dressed as bats
So
and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they
But Ole Mass in Trinidad used to be very big.
Big thing, huge. It still is to a certain degree, but I tend to think Ole Mass is dying, and I think that's a tradition we should not allow to die.
Actually, like in Dominica, we should keep our Sensei alive.
Yeah. Well, how do you think Dominica's carnival is now today at present compared to before? Do you think we're on the right track to keeping our carnival going?
No, I think our carnival is trying to imitate Brazil and Trinidad too much. We seem to be moving away from creativity, because carnival is all about creativity. And you cannot just order something from Trinidad and say, we have to make our carnival indigenous to ourselves, you know, not copying things. And that is what the older bands do, like Carnival Corner, Thunderbirds. But the young band, they just follow the trend.
Bikini and beats.
Yeah, all over the Caribbean, which again, it doesn't do much for the creative industries. People cannot earn from that. You send your money overseas.
Yeah.
We should give wire benders, carnival costume designers a chance to showcase their talent. But we have a great talent in Dominica, but unfortunately, not enough money is channeled in the cultural industry so we can help or employ more people.
Another aspect of Ole Mass is the Papi Show wedding. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the Papi Show wedding is prevalent in all Caribbean countries. The slaves use the Papi Show wedding to mock, mimicry, or ridicule their owners, like the plantation owners or the Guancas, which was the main house, like the servants. So they would really look at their masters and try and ridicule them by acting like them on the streets.
So that is how it originated.
Originated. And there's the similar thread throughout the Caribbean.
Yes.
You go to Trinidad, Grenada, St. Lucia, similar thread.
Agreed. Well, it was really, really interesting speaking to you this morning, and we look forward to seeing you on the road for Carnival in your Sensei.
I'll be married Sensei this year.
And thank you so much, and good luck.
You're welcome.